Is the baby you're carrying really mine? What? What are you talking about? Do you have any proof it's mine? Proof? What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Nothing much. Oh, it's about time your beloved Dominic arrives. Beloved? What on earth are you talking about? I'm Carrie, 31 years old. I married Alec 3 years ago. Now at full term, I'm soon due to give birth. Lately, I've been puzzled by Alec's remarks, and it's been troubling me. On this day, Alec's first cousin Dominic and my friend Jasmine were visiting our home. When Alec and I got married, we found out by chance that Dominic and Jasmine were colleagues at the same company. Since then, the four of us often dined out and hung out together. Dominic and Jasmine are both single. They seemed like close friends, and I always thought they made a good match. I always wished they'd get together, but Jasmine didn't seem interested, viewing Dominic strictly as a colleague. As I was cutting fruit Jasmine brought as a gift, Dominic spoke to me. Are you okay? Don't push yourself too hard, Carrie, he said, showing concern. Immediately, Alec complained. Hey, it's not cool to call someone else's wife by her first name, Dominic. Are you into Carrie or something? Both Dominic and I were put off by Alec's comment. Dominic was just concerned about me. Don't say weird things. Alec then glared at me and bitterly said, So, you're always on Dominic's side, and stormed off to the bedroom. Dominic and Jasmine felt awkward and they left early. Alec's behavior wasn't just for today. He started acting strange a bit before I got pregnant. He used to be really close to Dominic, like brothers, but recently he started saying unpleasant things. Also, Alec's been busy with work, with more overtime and weekends away for about a year. I was worried about this, especially with a baby on the way, and hoping we could share the parenting. Then one day, labor started. That day I was alone, visiting my in-laws. When labor began, my in-laws asked Dominic, who lives next door, to drive me to the hospital. Dominic drove me there, and a few hours later, I gave birth to a baby boy. Back in my room, my parents greeted me. I asked, "Where's Alec?" and learned he hadn't arrived yet. It had been hours since labor started, and I was puzzled, but apparently he had an important meeting he couldn't miss. When I settled down, my in-laws and Dominic came to see the baby. As Dominic and others were leaving, Alec finally arrived. He walked in with a sour face, and, looking at our son, blurted out, "He looks just like Dominic." Indeed, our son did resemble Dominic. Since Alec and Dominic are first cousins and look alike, it's not strange that our son looks like him. When Alec said this, my in-laws thought he was joking and joined in. "Indeed, he does look like Dominic. You two do have similar features." And the conversation lined up. I thought Alec was joking too, but he wasn't smiling at all. As I was feeling confused, Jasmine entered the room. "Sorry I'm late. I was so surprised when Dominic called." It seemed Jasmine had come especially for me, her close friend. The room became more lively, but Alec, sounding angry, said, "Fine, I'm leaving. Why don't you have a good time with Dominic?" and left the room, leaving us all stunned. We had no idea why Alec was so upset. I was in an emotionally fragile state after giving birth and burst into tears. The room became somewhat chaotic with me crying and my in-laws flustered. Jasmine and Dominic tried to console me. "What's gotten into Alec? Leaving on such a day in anger," said Jasmine. Dominic followed. "Don't worry, Carrie. I'll talk to him later. Just rest for now." My parents and in-laws were also worried and stayed by my side. They apologized, but no one understood why Alec had said what he did. During my 5-day hospital stay, Alec never visited nor could be contacted. And no one knew where he was. Dominic and my in-laws tried reaching him, but his phone was unreachable. I was worried that Alec might have been caught up in some incident. The baby and I were discharged from the hospital without being able to contact Alec. My parents and in-laws took turns coming to my home to look after me. Thanks to that, I was able to take care of the baby without Alec. But I was overwhelmed by the anxiety of losing my husband so suddenly. My in-laws and I were all worried about what was going on, when suddenly Alec came home. That day was 1 week after being discharged from the hospital. My in-laws were helping out, and at home were me, my son, and my in-laws. Alec entered loudly, despite our son sleeping, and started yelling, You were cheating on me with Dominic." I was shocked by his sudden return and baseless accusation. Of course I hadn't cheated with Dominic. "What are you talking about? I haven't cheated on you." But Alec confidently declared, "I had a DNA test done. This isn't my child. We're getting a divorce." To my surprise, Alec had a DNA test done without my knowledge. However, the results were wrong. The baby was definitely Alec's. I was confused about how such results came out and why he even thought of doing a DNA test. Then, the previously silent in-law spoke up. "This must be some mistake. Why would you do a DNA test in the first place?" Alec glared at me. "I've been suspicious of you and Dominic for a while, and the baby looks just like Dominic." I had never been particularly close to Dominic and had never met him alone. "That's a misunderstanding. And if you're saying our son looks like Dominic, he also resembles your father." No matter how much I explained, Alec wouldn't listen and insisted that Dominic and I were having an affair. When my in-laws, who had been quietly listening, said, "If you're so sure, show us the DNA test results," Alec suddenly became tongue-tied. Reluctant to reveal the envelope, his stubborn refusal made my in-laws frustrated and angry. They forcefully took the envelope from Alec's hands. Upon examining the document inside, their faces immediately tensed with anger. "This is ridiculous. You thought this would be credible?" they scolded Alec. I looked at the document, and even to my untrained eye, it was obviously a fake. It seems like Alec had created this test result himself. A poorly made document that clearly looked imitated from a sample found online. I was at a loss for words, not understanding why Alec would do such a thing. Meanwhile, my in-laws pressed Alec. "What were you planning by trying to pin cheating on Carrie? I didn't raise a son to run away from home right after his wife gives birth." Alec, lectured by his father, looked downcast and muttered discontentedly. Then he blurted out, "Damn, thought I could hide it. Fine, I'll let it go for today. But the suspicion of your affair with Dominic isn't cleared. We're getting divorced because of your cheating." He left the room abruptly, ignoring our attempts to stop him. I was too shocked to process my in-laws' apologies. After they left, my parents took care of my son, giving me some time to think alone. After my son fell asleep, I sat in the living room pondering. Why was Alec convinced of an affair between me and Dominic? Why did he go to the extent of forging a DNA test to push for divorce? His action seems like he was in a hurry to divorce. I formed a hypothesis. Alec might be the one cheating. Thinking back, Alec started acting strangely about a year ago. His hostility towards Dominic began around that time too. Could it be that Alec was trying to blame me for cheating to gain an advantage in the divorce? Everything fit together with this theory. If Alec was cheating, it would have been going on for about a year. Thinking there might be some evidence at home, I started searching, and found a crumbled receipt in Alec's closet. It was from a restaurant about an hour away, clearly for 2 people's meals. However, this alone wasn't enough to prove infidelity. After searching the entire house and finding nothing else suspicious, I remembered something. When we first got married, Alec and I installed an app to share our locations. Thinking he probably turned off his location sharing, I checked the app anyway, and was surprised to see Alec's location perfectly displayed. He must have forgotten about the app. The map showed him in the same area as the restaurant on the receipt, seemingly at an apartment. But this wasn't definitive proof of cheating. He might just be staying at a friend's or colleague's place. So I decided to observe the situation for a week. It appeared that Alec was commuting between his company and that apartment. Knowing his routine, I decided to visit the apartment the next Wednesday. Leaving my son with my parents, I mustered the strength to go there, despite still feeling weak from giving birth. It was 7 p.m., the time Alec usually came home. I waited at a nearby cafe. After 20 minutes, Alec returned to the apartment as I expected. But, unexpectedly, he was with someone. Jasmine, walking arm in arm with him. No way! Jasmine? Why? I exclaimed loudly, despite being alone, drawing odd looks from the cafe staff and customers, but I didn't care. I managed to record a video of them on my phone. I returned home, gripping the phone tightly. My mother had put my son to bed, and I sat alone in the living room, contemplating how to confront them. Then the doorbell rang. Opening the door, I saw Dominic and my in-laws. Sorry, I brought them with me. If I came alone, Alec might accuse me of something, Dominic explained. My in-laws looked surprised and apologized. Carrie, we're so sorry for our son's behavior. I hadn't told them about Alec's affair. They only knew about the fake DNA test. As I looked puzzled, Dominic started to speak. Please don't be shocked. It seems Alec and Jasmine are having an affair. I was surprised by Dominic's revelation, but quickly shared. Dominic? You knew? I also recently found out about Alec's affair. I even recorded this video today, showing them the video I had taken. My in-laws were even more shocked, while Dominic nodded as if to confirm his suspicions. He then shared about Alec's affair. Apparently, rumors had been circulating at work for weeks about Jasmine having an affair with a married man. Dominic had confronted Jasmine about these rumors. She denied the affair, believing Dominic at the time. However, he later accidentally saw Jasmine and Alec walking arm in arm. Unable to confront them on the spot, Dominic only took a photo and left. He then checked their social media and realized that Jasmine and Alec's posts over the past year matched up, confirming his suspicion of their affair. I was grateful and surprised that Dominic had gone to such lengths to investigate. Dominic, you're like a detective, I said despite the tragic situation. Dominic looked troubled by my comment. Based on the evidence Dominic and I had gathered, we decided to confront Alec. The next day, I contacted Alec to talk at home. That day, it was decided that I would stop by the house after work. When I called, Alec was desperately trying to pin the blame of infidelity on me, without any sense of shame, saying, So, you finally admit to cheating? Just admit it and let's get a divorce. Because Alec was coming over, my in-laws gathered at the house too. In the end, the house was filled with me, my parents, my in-laws, and Dominic. Alec thought he would only find me at home, so he'd be surprised to see everyone there. As we waited, Alec arrived at the house. I've brought the divorce papers, just sign them quickly, he said, oblivious to what awaited him, as he started an arguing. Then, opening the living room door, Alec was speechless at the sight of us. Mom? Dad too? What's going on with everyone, all gathered together? As Alec mumbled in panic, my father-in-law was the first to scold him harshly. You foolish son, cheating and even fabricating Carrie's infidelity just for a divorce. It's unacceptable. With my father-in-law's outburst, Alec was visibly shocked. I didn't cheat. Alec feigned ignorance. That's when I showed him a video of him entering an apartment with Jasmine, arm in arm. Predictably, Alec started making excuses. I was just getting advice from Jasmine. I then confronted him with the location history from an app. I found out that this apartment is Jasmine's home, isn't it? It turned out Jasmine had moved without telling me, and she and Alec had been living there together half the time. Dominic presented a photo of Jasmine and Alec walking arm in arm as proof, and we confronted Alec with the fact that their SNS information matched. Alec, left without excuses, admitted to the affair almost in tears. Just as I suspected, Alec and Jasmine's affair had started a year ago. Apparently, Jasmine had feelings for Alec from before and initiated the affair. And when I heard more, it turned out Jasmine was pregnant. She was pressuring Alec to take responsibility and remarry her, hence his rush to divorce me. But if our divorce was due to his infidelity, he would have to pay alimony. Alec, trying to save money, fabricated my affair to avoid paying in the divorce. He even planned to make Dominic look like the one I cheated with. Conveniently, our son resembled Dominic, so I thought if I forged the DNA report, everyone would believe me. Alec said pitifully, continuing his excuses while crying. His sloppy and arbitrary plan disgusted me and my in-laws. Realizing further conversation was pointless, I thrust the divorce papers at Alec and made him sign. After that, our divorce was finalized. Alec ended up paying me alimony and child support. Of course, I also claimed alimony from Jasmine. She resigned from her job due to her pregnancy, but it was probably her scandalous affair that truly embarrassed her. Jasmine and Alec soon broke up. I heard from friends that Jasmine lost interest in Alec, thrown away by me, as their relationship was based on the thrill of the affair. I was shocked and betrayed by Jasmine, who I thought was a close friend, but with support from other friends, I managed to recover. Now, with help from my parents and Dominic, I'm doing my best as a single mother raising my son. As a single mother, I'm determined to live a life my son can be proud of.